Yeah, it's been a crazy process for sure. Obviously, making the decision to come out early and forego my last year of eligibility at Kansas State was a tough decision, but it's what I felt I was ready to do, and I was definitely ready to take that next step into the pros. Going forth with that, obviously, training for the combine and training for pro day, all that kind of stuff was a very exciting time in my life. I was actually down in Florida for 2.5 months getting ready for that. And then obviously, sometime in between there, traveling over to Mobile, Alabama, playing in the Reese's Senior Bowl. That was such a great and awesome experience. Playing with other, the best, players in college football, playing with and against them, and then having, NFL teams as your coaches for that one whole week. Super cool experience. Then obviously after that, going into pro day, definitely believe I performed pretty well at pro day. Then now, obviously it's just crazy. A lot of phone calls, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of interviews, talking ball with certain coaches on certain teams. But it's definitely been crazy. It's been hectic, but, the days are counting down for sure. And I can't wait to hear my name called, in the next few days.
What is the weirdest thing you've been asked by a team in those interviews?
Probably the weirdest question is, I'm from Kansas, obviously played at Kansas State. Really haven't experienced much, outside of the state of Kansas. One theme that teams asked me quite a bit was, do you think you could handle living in this city? For example, New York City. If the New York Jets or the Giants, so I was talking to them, they would just ask me, do you think you can handle living in, in a big city like this? And obviously told them, yeah, I'm very, very adjustable with where I go and where I live, and I'll just be happy playing football no matter what city I'm in. So that's definitely been kind of an odd question for sure.
Well, I can understand that. Honestly, Wyatt, I'm offended for you that they ask you that question, all right? It's not like Manhattan and Topeka is, we're not a town of 20 people, all right? Let's just chill a little bit, New York.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Wyatt Hubert is talking with us. What was your best, what were you most impressed with as far as like what times or measurements that you were able to put up throughout the process getting ready for your pro day?
Definitely. Going to the draft, being, some guys list me as a defensive end, some guys see me as an outside linebacker, and overall just, classified as an edge guy. But, at the next level, in the NFL, I'll definitely be playing an outside linebacker type position, probably Sam or Will. But obviously, lateral quickness and lateral speed is very important and for, that position that I'll be playing at the next level. So, the lateral quickness is something it's always been a strong suit of mine. The 5-10-5, the L drill, two of my very, my best, drills and two of my best times. Going into pro day, that was my main goal, was just to show all the scouts and teams my lateral quickness, how quick I can move side to side, and all that kind of stuff. So I ran a sub-zero 3-cone drill, which is very good. I think that would have placed me, top 3 at the NFL Combine this year. And then I ran a 4.28 5-10-5. Not my best time, but definitely, not a bad time whatsoever. So definitely, obviously just showcase my, my lateral quickness into all the teams and into all the clubs.
So what are you hearing right now as far as expectation on what round you may go in the draft?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's crazy for sure. Some teams see me as a day 2 guy, in rounds 2 to 3. Some see me as a mid-rounder guy, 3 to 4. But, if I were to trust my gut feelings, just going off from what I've heard, I'm pretty confident to say I'll probably go somewhere in the mid to late 3rd round, and if not there, definitely somewhere in the 4th.
All right, Wyatt Hubert is talking with us, former K-State defensive end, headed into the NFL draft. Your K-State career, what sticks out to you the most, the memory that you'll take with you the most from your time in Manhattan?
Definitely. Playing for Coach Snyder and Coach Climby, a lot of great memories, throughout my 4 years at Kansas State. And, obviously, people ask me this question all the time, but, obviously when we beat Oklahoma in 2019 at home, that was definitely the best experience, being a part of a game where, the whole stadium rushed to the field after a game, you beat a, top 5 ranked opponent in the nation. I mean, you can't beat that. That's what you dream of. And, luckily, I played a really good game that game. I think I had like 2 sacks, a couple tackle for losses, a forced fumble. Everything was just went right that day. The weather was beautiful. It was like 75. It was perfect football weather. Everything went, the way we wanted it to go. And that was definitely one of the best memories I've had at Kansas State for sure.
So I remember after that game, you talking, and I love that you said it, that Oklahoma had come in like really running their mouths a lot. Like they were guys that talked a lot of trash. Can you elaborate on that? Like what was that like for you playing that game and taking it to those guys when they came in like that?
Yeah, well, for me, I approach every game, no matter if it's Oklahoma or whoever we play, it doesn't matter. I approach every game on every Saturday with the same mindset and the same mentality. But, I definitely had a little extra fuel and a little extra fire that game. Because, I'm a super competitive guy, super competitive person, and a super competitive player. I was out there, making a lot of plays. So my emotions were running high. I was doing everything I could to help the team, win that game. Obviously, it's part of the game. It's just the trash talking and, guys' egos. And, it's just such an emotional game. I just can't describe it. And like I said, I was doing whatever I could to help the team win that day. And we came out with a win. And that's just what made it so sweet that day and so memorable for sure.
Who typically talked the most smack in the league?
Where at?
Yeah, like who? Like what team? What team in the Big 12 talked the most trash?
You can't really classify as a team. More certain players on certain teams, but because that'd be, we have certain players on our team that do the same thing. So
yeah,
every team has those guys that talk, and it's really not a. I don't know if I can really answer that question. Every team does it, and every team has a lot of it for sure.
All right, well, how about this? And Wyatt Hubert is talking with us. Who was the best on your team? Like, are you toward the top of that list?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. No, once I'm in pads, and if it's a Saturday, I turn on a different mentality. And, I was very confident with what I did, how I prepared Monday through Friday going into a game. And I was very confident. I knew at the bottom of my heart that I studied more than the guy I'd be going against. I knew I was a better player than him. I knew what moves to beat him with, how to get in his head. And obviously trash talking was a part of it, but not just me, a lot of other guys as well. But, that's part of the game, and even just, trash talking itself, in its own category, just gets you way more fired up if you're, dead silent on the field. So, obviously there's times where you need to keep your mouth shut and, stay quiet for sure. But, it's a very emotional game, very high intense emotional game that, you can't beat the feeling of it. Your adrenaline's rushing, your emotions are high, and, you can't beat it. That's why I love to play the game for sure.